back in July, we've been there. Usai Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority been tell we say because of development where they happen now across the world, and we self no one for left behind, Sierra Leone self go introduce the biometric driver's license. If not for the sales speech, you self you go and give up the license. Also, you say you go take salon license, because any kind future where you think say license forget, any kind security feature where you think then say this particular license get them. But again, if not for sales speech, you go say let's give left una left for go do bush canaton. What till left on no be tell we about the voter ID for the last election, the previous administration. The kind sales speech we then give you about that voter ID there, They say you're able to travel with all. What will be end up again? You go say, you don't say the previous administration. What will be they expect? This not talking to. This is different. This one different. So, no compare tradi and now. Alright. Oh, agree. But I get some questions. Well, they say the biometric machine, the license way it give. The first person way they don't give, the first ever person, are the president. Hey. They say, oh yes, the president now sign. Someone they say the president don't even need them. The president don't need them. Because the president they drive himself. Someone say they don't see and he drive himself. Okay, hold on. Mr. Sano. They wanna give the president. He pay for her. You can also say the president pay. The second person we don't get him na the vice president. And I know see who say himself pay. If they want show we say this thing is so clear and fine for go through, even though now they go meet the president, even though you got to make them one kind way so that everybody go see. So SLRA say then told the office, then go to the printing machine, all thing, then go to a status. The biometric, everything and total and go there, then go set them up. So that to go see. Therefore, we don't like for suicide the president back, they pull money and pay. Yes. They pay first for the service. Then una for charge and for VIP. Una for charge and back for VIP because it's new. Now una total all tinker meter. But una get free. Say because na the president. I mean they no go give me position. Because if na fund self will go make candidate but the pa go pay. Vice president ba go pay. They all go get them different charges. You go tell them say na then na the first na like bidding. Una say the money una get for use of you get una non come meet and today back then go to the first lady in office. Then go give am back. I mean say let's try go tongue my una can't give me. But una no say una for don't do like a bidding process. Una for able pull money na the way they and better one. Una no sabi make money. Una no sabi make money. I left me here. Yeah. I know you wanna talk about money. Because this is past VIP service. Usa una taught the biometric machine all thing. Una taught all thing una gonna status. Do you not pay? Oh, because I'm the president, una not sabi make money. Ah. Una be charging self for pay una not sabi. Next day una come to me make a show una. How for doing? Yeah? But anyway, one can look inside this driver's license talk. I can't tell you. I'm going to status. But radio democracy be today. Let we listen how it happen.
His Excellency, sir, with all due respect, can you permit us so that we can capture your fingerprints?
Yeah. I hope say only one then we get for go na SLRC. Na so na get for talk to them more. Eh? Or you go say no, I go compare how them go talk to the president to any other person. First of all, the other people and first na pay them they go pay. The president not pay. Eh? Okay. So look and first. His Excellency, sir, can you please permit us to capture your fingerprint? So me say I get for go na salon. For go let them capture my fingerprint. If they not talk to me so, I go get problem with you now. Eh? Na customer service. Na that no lek. Na so if you talk to person, you not supposed for be say na the president no money for address you. But the ordinary man will get for drag that in drag. For go take this license himself if forget this kind of a customer service. The way how una address the president. Okay?
Can the thumb first?
Yeah. Left 4 fingers, sir.
You see? Customer service na ya. The president I ask me thumb first, right? Eh? Then say yes. If na be ordinary man, I be ask so. We go now in our office, go ask say, we say, Carlo can take your fingerprint, I ask and say, na me thumb first. You say no, not to him. Now he shall be waiting. Who sabi them back talk the way in Kingina Salon? Who sabi? I say, Carlo can capture, the president say, na me thumb first, right? He say yes, na him first, sir. Customer service. Eh? Not to for say, na the president no more. Who can say salon, who not sabi customer service? Who sabi o? Eh? Who sabi? Eh? You see how they talk to the president? Okay. Alright. Because I say if me want let the president pay for license back for all the flights there, I said then Gaia no sabi make money. Therefore don't make a like bidding between the president and the vice president. Now they go. Good customer service. I like that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Lights 4 fingers, sir.
The president, Dr. Julius Madabio, where he will go through the process for get the first ever biometric driver's license, where the SLRC implement as way for upgrade the system and bring sanity na the road them, where the driver then they use. And as SLRC be don't pull the system na do, the president na the first person for receive this license, and the executive director, Ibrahim Sano, we officially present him to him.
Your Excellency, sir, it's now a privilege for myself and the Director of License to present you the first ever biometric driver's license of Sierra Leone.
If down the road we are say una not make money per this, now una friend am. Because the first ever license una print, una go give away free. The first one, not all say. Now una talk am say this time the first ever license una give to the president. Una thank you for the good work.
Where it be the hand over the license to the president, the executive director, first talk about how important this license be for the country.
I started this process as a way of rebranding the entire biometric system, especially the one that to do with the issuance of the biometric license. It's the first ever in the country, and we are pleased this moment that God has made it possible We have launched it, and today we are here to issue the very first license to.
Hotel God thank you. We be done launch am. I be tell you just now. I be in July. They launch am, but now they don't able for print the first ever license where they don't hand over give the president and say this one we self salon don't join inside the technological world now for make we self say well if you get to a license you go outside and can read the license or then read them like how then they read you. You credit to the because how longer than your port? I don't know. You say you day for in the United States where you dey travel with you, where they travel internally. We're not international flight from state to state. You see, we can get a license, then they put another machine and cross and like say a credit card. You know, it they read. So then say salon license now. It go they read.
And the second license to the Honorable Vice President. This process entails 9 security features, and they are printed from a company called HID in the UK.
Then say, this we new biometric driver's license, it gets 9 security features. Now, so Mr. Sanosio, the executive director for Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, okay?
In fact, it is called the next generational license because.
In fact, it is called the next generational license. Yes, Salon. So, this license here, Salon, the license will get, even not for this generation self again. Because the kind security features they will pack para. Now for next generation. Then one day we go the thing say they want make them license like for say well now we then get for the copy. We Salon. You not believe? Listen.
It has a contactless chip in it, and it has all the currency features that other nations use to print out currencies or monies.
It get contactless chip, it gets all security features where other nations then back they use for print their own.
It has the hologram at the back, it has the keyloge, the nanotext, the microtext, and deliberate errors. The other features are covert, meaning you cannot see with your deliberate eyes except maybe through some other device.
It get features the way you eye they see, it get features the way you eye not they see.
What is unique about this process is the fact that we cannot commence the process without having the NIN number, which is called the National Identification Number.
You not go able get this new driver's license without you not get the National Identification Number. When a NIN, N-I-N. Yes, Sierra Leone, when they get something with like Social Security. N-I-N, as we call Leone, we call her NIN.
As it entails in other countries like UK or US, where you have a Social Security number.
After we it all received the license, the president say this process now step to development and plenty developed country them. He said already gets this system. And this is say go tap the plenty lawlessness where ki Apple we driver them now the road them.
What the UK and US are thinking of doing, we have done already as a nation.
Hey! Okay, oh. You want to hear that part to the back? It's my big. Now we are waiting the presidency. The presidency waiting United States and United Kingdom. They think for do. Salon don't do already. So based on waiting the presidency, we can safely say if United States and United Kingdom one forget sober driver's license, therefore copy from we Salon. Sierra Leone. You na country. Mr. President, talk and back later.
Weki Apple we driver them now the road them.
What the UK and US are thinking of doing, we have done already as a nation. We have a lot of people who sit behind the wheels, who have no business being in the vehicle driving. But because we had a faulty system, we've had people who we create mayhem on the road, who we go behind the wheels without the requisite documentation. But
We get people who go behind the wheels without the correct documentation. What mean say? People we not get driver's license, they drive. But now, we get biometric driver license. How is that going to stop somebody to drive without driver's license? Now we get all the security features and all these things, and see some people then they go meet. We don't discuss this. Then they go meet people and then print time. This one they not go able for print time and all these things. Okay. All right.
I believe that with this now we'll be able to control that. And the fact that it carries all our biometric details means that you can no longer hide. And this is development. For the most part, it's really, when we talk about development, we are only talking about concrete, that which we can touch.
This is development. For the most part, na salon, we want to talk about development as something we can touch. But the president will know say, this driver's license who don't get now. Na development
and other things, but this is one quantum leap towards safety and sanity on our roads.
This go lead towards safety and sanity in our roads. And then the one can talk about the new driver's license. How they lead towards safety and sanity, because there are so many things then what we need for do for make it work. Because we know say police there. Anyway, let's done with them first.
So I want to congratulate you and also challenge you further. We are not going to stop here. What else can we do? We should innovate. We should be creative. We should be thinking ahead of the curve all the time.
The Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Jule Jallo, self go through this process and be the second person for receive the biometric driver license. And with this, the President and the Vice President will encourage people for going for the biometric driver license. For the Society for Radio Democracy, me, na Waniga Oja.
We want to tell Waniga Oja thank you and Radio Democracy, because not through them may you able for listen to that. We don't get new driver's license. Well, the executive director been there na AYV this morning. Let's just listen and quick. I get few points then where I want to listen, so that we will get some informed decisions them we'll go hear from their own part, so that when they can't talk now, we know it till they talk. Because we get for come with Victor Mengot, we na the specialist na that road area there. You know, saying it all we want to talk about road, we must bring and kind inside. We can discuss waiting how we see how waiting and your advice and waiting go make this thing all water. But before that, I beg. Na AYV this morning, the executive director, Mame Sano, been there. Let we listen small no more, yeah?
The issue of road safety has been on media for the longest of time, at every point having different priorities at your institution, trying to fix things and get it right. Let's break these 4 issues down. Let's start off with the biometric driver's license. What value does this add to road safety?
Well, it adds so much value to road safety. Like you heard from His Excellency the President himself, one, it ensures compliance. It also ensures sanity and ethics, especially among the drivers, because the biometric process is one. But compliance in the sense, what we have done at SLRSA, that to complement all the good efforts we've put in place in terms of the issues of biometric driver's license, is fundamentally predicated on the fact that we have to enforce and ensure driving testing before the licenses are issued.
We get for ensure, enforce, for me then take test before they get the license. Pay attention.
So how do we go about this, basically? For example, if you are a potential new driver, you want to acquire a new driver's license, we have modules that we have prepared. We also got the DSSP, the Driver License Standardization Program. We have prepared that. We are working in tandem with all other stakeholders. So this document, we're rolling this out by phase. So for now, we have what we call the manual testing, if I can put it that way. It's not just for you to go drive the car, but you have to also come on the computer and then do the testing. And this testing, we've broken it down so that the least person who is uneducated can also be able to understand the signs.
Manual testing, not to no more. Now they say, then get written, testing where they go sit on a computer. Okay? Now the executive director and the talk.
The issue about road ethics basically is about you understanding the road furniture, which has to do with the signages on the road.
The road signs. You for understand the road signs. Understand the road signs.
And that used to be acquiring a license is one of the areas where institutions like yours across the world get to ensure that it's drivers who actually understand road safety signs and so much more that acquire a license. In the past, it wasn't so in Sierra Leone. Getting drivers a license was much easier for even people who basically all they could do is start the vehicle, move forward, and sometimes a bit backwards. For them, that's what driving was. So implementing the biometric driver's license now, how does this change that format, especially when we already have people who have driver's license?
Okay. So that's what I'm explaining to you. The training, let me use the word training. The testing that I said is in 2 phases. We are rolling currently. We are doing it by phases.
Una lawyer you, by phases. Yeah?
So the first phase is, that is for the potential drivers who intend to acquire a driver's license. You have to firstly go to a proper driving school.
Okay. If you na person way, ever get driver's license in Sierra Leone, you want for go get driver's license now, the executive director, Road Safety Authority say, na true driving school you for go. Before, garage your papa and driver your mama and driver your sister and boyfriend will get motorcar they all they learn you for drive. But now, not to say again. You get for if you don't Sabina, you want go through the driving school so that you go able to obtain the license or what, but they say na true driving school. Now you get for go, okay?
So we are making it mandatory starting from 1st January next year.
Starting from 1st January 2022. If you na new driver, we want driver's license alone, you get for go through driving school. Okay?
That every new driver has to go to a driving school. That is one. Number 2, for those who are current license holders, you have to go to a test. So what we are doing basically, we're trying to we've already established 2 centers now.
You will get license already. Where you want to go exchange now and they forget this biometric, you get for take test. You get for take test. You, nothing, you not do driving school. You get, well, then say you get for take test.
In Freetown here. But we want to also...
for now, the center na 2 no more than get inside Freetown. But then they look for get now 5 other regions them,
Scale that further in the 5 regions across the country, so we can have the people all over to do this testing. So we want to also equip these testing centers with simulators. Basically, you can sit in a chair like this, like a small kind of vehicle that you can.
Okay, hold on first, Mr. Sano. You say the testing centers them. Oh no, I forget simulators. Like you will get picking where get like Xbox or PS, or where you go self na then play center there. Like you say then play motoka. Play motoka. But this play motoka, it connects to a computer system where you get for pretend like say you did drive. And go give you a scenario, you pretend like you did drive, and what you did do, and then they take a mark you. So I begin think, wait to now simulator don't come inside. For say we not gonna get practical again. Because if you are going to go do a real na do, why if you can make simulator inside? But that one they not clarify it. Loud they go no more.
Drive and you will be graded. And what we are doing, the simulators are interlinked with our system. So in other words, as long as you're driving, we have different phases of driving tests that we do using the simulator. We have the rugged road, we have the township road.
into the area. Then get the road all by the simulator. And then get township road. I hope so. I go put potole even the township road. I need for put potole there.
Like if you're driving in town, and all of these things are are simulated in,
because need for simulator for balance then potole within the township road then safe.
The computer that you have to drive. So we've currently looked at it at management level, and we've agreed because the fundamental objective, Fabian and Lamana, is not just for the biometric process. It's for us to ensure compliance. It's for us to at least try to be 60-70% ethical assurance on the road.
60 to 70%. Let's get the correct people at the road.
And we have monopoly over what we do.
Not true. They get monopoly. Now they no more. They're able to get driver's license. That is true.
So it's now incumbent on us to really ensure that we do it right for the good of the people. So the biometric process means you cannot sit at your house again to get license. For those who've obtained passports, you have to go physically and do your biometric
Could share with that one day. No more, yeah?
Data capturing before a passport is issued to you. So that's what we are doing. And that's why we are very much happy and honored that His Excellency the President and the Honorable Vice President graced the occasion yesterday by holding the very first biometric license. And you saw from the video that he went through the biometric process himself. So that's...
But he not pay. He go through the process, but he not pay. So now una not try. If I pay.
Actually legitimizes the fact that nobody will now even evade the process. And it's crystal clear. You have to bring your NIN number to start with.
You get for come with your national identification number to start with. Now they force you to begin. If you not get NIN number, national identification number, forget you. You know they get salon driver's license. Because now they force you get for start. Okay?
Your national identification number. So that one translates now to your driving license number.
You mean the one?
Me, now they get problem. They are talking back. Yanda yon I get problem with her. Yanda. If you say the national identification number, now like with social security number, then that same number then they can turn with driver's license number. But yeah, your social security card safe, then they tell you who's for keeper. Then they even give tin way for put up away, they make it safe. Because that number they know nobody catch her. And with social security number, it's different from a license number, with driver's license number. If they say the national identification number, if it be like a social security number, but again, now they can't turn the driver's license number, I like the kind security owner put by that card. So anybody will hold the card, that's it. You don't know the information, all the information for the next person. And today's bank can begin say just now that number did and they use that. Hey, yeah. I don't think you think well. For make your social security number be your ID number. Not get identity theft in Sierra Leone. So maybe now because of talking back.
Now to your driving license number.
You mean the one from NCRA?
Definitely. So this is how we have interlinked the system. Every modern securitized company or securitized system in the world is now linked with their social security.
Exactly. With social security, but they sell you market a big. Because right now they confuse you. Sell you market where they sell.
So our NIN number here is just like our social security. So it's the starting point of the license. So Fibia, you cannot have no two social security. You cannot have no two NIN numbers. And NCRA has all primary data of everybody that lives in this country, even foreigners as well.
NCRA, National Civil Registration. You say get all the data them, the primary data. When I keep talking, I get data. I still they go na so they even though not to them tell you. But then they don't tell you one thing, Seth. Then they don't tell you one thing. But Now they hear am from the executive director na road safety authority for say civil registration then get halted. Okay?
Working here. NCRA have their primary data. So the reason why we interloop with NCRA
He say even to foreigner the way they work in a salon. So if una get them people they need the information, why make una need to work alongside with immigration? Wait, all man the kechi keep am is don't pagam or waiting. Eh? We go come for another time, but for today, let we just focus na small.
is basically because we want to ensure thorough certification and validation so that Fabian cannot use another face or somebody cannot use Fabian's name because it's been happening.
You make a laugh, Mr. Sano. Eh? You make a laugh. Now the same National Civil Registration where they give voter ID card, where they put different face and different name. Oh, wait. You know you for say you know the Yeribo that one day. Where voter registration card can come out. Where certain the name, they different from the address, they different from the face, different person in name, different person address, different person face, then they pay the card. Now this National Civil Registration no. Or sometimes one say this 2021 they don't change now. Now a new thing and they get for do. Yeah. Okay, if I know and work together anyway. But all right, low they go.
People use other people's names, put other people's faces to acquire this license.
Yes, that's true. But again, NCI self can make that mistake this.
And so we said, and we agreed, and we are grateful to NCRA because they helped us in a way that to make the process seamless for even anybody who intends to do it. So everybody has his own NIN number. So you obtain your NIN number, you come to SLRSA.
Okay. Number one first, you get for go National Civil Registration, you go take your NIN number, your NIN, or your NI number, National Identification Number. You go take them. That's one. Even though you say it's seamless, so and one first, we sabi salon. Something, yeah. Anyway, after you don't go back and forth, you finally get the number. You come over na road safety authority, okay?
We just input your NIN number. We have an API link with NCRA.
So, where you can there, where you give them, then, or maybe you go don't get them beforehand. How you go get them, I don't know. Where you come, you give them the NI number, then put another system, then say, then get a link with the civil registration system. So, you're supposed to come up, not for strain them.
And so once we input your NIN number, everything about you comes up.
As you're saying this, Sano, my
For Bidole amphibian let done. Okay, continue.
heart keeps pounding because I'm thinking about going to get a biometric license, but I'm trying to figure out the cost of it.
The cost is minimal.
What's the cost? Simple. Waiting at the cost. The cost is minimal. No, waiting at the cost. 500,000, 200,000. As easy as that. Waiting at the cost. Now you get this explanation now.
What we did basically, we looked at, currently you can look at the economic trend of the country.
Okay. Now cost don't come or explanation don't come. And say for look at the economic trend out in Tranga. Basically, look out in Tranga na the country. Because nothing else not there for me for say.
If we had said the expenditure in procuring one license from the start phase, from the securitized card itself.
If we say just for the empty card, how much would they pay for them? Just for that empty card. If we say how much would they pay for them, that's what we get for charge the people then.
Because the cards are not done in Sierra Leone.
Number one first, then card then they not to salon then they make them.
There are only 3 manufacturers of those cards in the world.
Ay, salon. Oh, one do thing, they go big. The kind card where we driver's license they use now, Now, only 3 manufacturers then at the entire world. Hey, yeah. The entire world, now only 3 manufacturers then now they're able for produce that kind of card.
These are highly securitized industrialized cars. They are
Highly securitized, industrialized. All right.
They have the patent rights to what they do, and they are ISO certified.
Then get the patent right. So the manufacturers them, they certificate right over the card. Eh? Is that what you're telling us? So Sierra Leone not own the card 100%. Then get the patent right. So if let's say tomorrow, when I say, you know what thing, we don't find other cheaper company, we want go there. That same kind card there, then people and they can't produce some more. Salon 9 for own the patent right. So when I want change company, when I go to other person. But for say the manufacturers then and then get the patent right over the card, I'm afraid we don't tie ourselves like how tie ourselves pan passport. I saw tie ourselves pan passport so they save the entire $2. Any $10 go up passport for go up. Now they say the patent right to the card, the manufacturer now then get them. All right.
And so whatever thing they do, you have to basically communicate to them what you want, your desire and everything, and they input it, and it's just limited to you.
Anything what you want, you can't do them for yourself. Now through them you get for do them, the manufacturers them. I don't know that go sign this deal. I don't know that go sign them. But anyway, now the manufacturers them. They say even if they make mistake, they're not able to correct them. Then you have to go back to the manufacturer for correct the mistake. Right.
So this card, as I'm saying, has like 9 securitized features.
9 security features, 90 per the card.
It has a contactless chip in it.
Okay.
It has a hologram at the back.
All right.
We have what we call the overt and covert features that I will not really
Okay. You know go talk down Andy because that's enough for security reasons.
highlight here. But for those
Yeah, who listen? You don't powerful oh. We don't get here no they talk na public. For long no sabi. Well done.
who can understand what I'm saying, they will know. Even when you look at the card, you can see the authenticity of the card.
They say when you look the card no more, you do not say this na real one. When you look at no more, you do not say this card is powerful. Chinese man no can inside it. Alibaba no can inside it. Yeah.
So to acquire
And
that
what
card
we can
alone,
understand actually is the price tag.
I'm coming there.
Exactly. What in them be asked not to say Amos. Now they go round and round and round and round and round. All right.
So I'm trying to justify that even the slight increment of 50,000 that we made across all categories is so very minimal.
50,000 leons na they add pantap. 50,000. But you know still talk waiting at the final price. I don't know why it go round and round and round, but anyway.
And if we say we are going to look at it that way, we're running at a loss as an institution. But the question that I put to management, especially the finance and audit team that we are working on this particular project, was, do we actually need to maximize profit at the expense of quality? No. The goal here is for us to commence the process, make sure it's qualitative, and based on the economic trend or the status quo as we go, then Parliament will give us the will or maybe
So it's
finance.
just 50,000 leons added to every category.
Every category.
Lamgana, with just 50,000 leons added to every category, do you consider that we should find time, maybe as early as possible, to go get a permit?
Okay, now left then the first. Because me, I don't even know waiting at the price. 50,000 I added to waiting. Me, I not sabi. But anyway, we get Victor Morgan Mengo tweet where we know say a specialist in that area there. And then we can talk about the thing, We can look for bring him on board, make we hear waiting in get for we. But for today, overall, sir, welcome on board on Sierra Network Radio. We talk about this new biometric. Overall, what's in you take?
Well, I think it's in principle a very good thing. Because one of the problems that we always get about is the way where people and the issue fake license in the country. We don't get situation where even the authority itself don't charge some people to the court where they make their license there. So it's a step in the right direction. But the only concern I get is that one, how then they issue their license here? Then talk about say they get for test driver them.
Okay.
Yes, but the only thing where we hear now for say okay, the driver then they will test them for road signs and everything. But we already get lost them. Now we books them. We actually talk about waiting for do for test driver. Because not for just get a license no more. But how you go get somebody who say that person they competent enough for drive now we country. And down there, it is under we road traffic regulation 2011. And to be actually look, I will refer to that because I can always like for refer to the law. Then they under section 31, where they call a test of competence. That is for make sure say somebody able to control the vehicle where be a danger to himself, the passenger, and the people the way they work and treat. I just give you the few. One, you get for test say the man able to control the vehicle in the traffic. If you're able also for make that vehicle they stop on the normal speed. You get for test how they turn corner, cross main road, and from side to main road. We don't see beaucoup driver in our tongue. When they drive, now like who trust in bone inside. Especially one of the problem we'll get now when driver they drive now roundabout.
Yes.
They don't know who that
get right of way.
Who that get right of way.
No.
The other thing where is say them for do, then for drive the motor vehicle backward in a straight line around the corner. They also get for understand one of the key things them in safe driving when at speed. But again, people they don't complain say we not get speed sign in the country. And we get forget clear whether we they use metric system or the old system, whether in miles per hour or kilometers per hour. People then get for make sure say the authority get for make sure say people they understand what's in a speed limit. Then also, before you get a license, you get for demonstrate how the rules of the road. Yeah? How for get and signal. Because sometimes you trafficate or can unbog. But what's in that part they say and the rule is say all length here nothing the way now with highway code. And if we do such a survey this net, let people then come back to we. Almost people then don't ever see highway code in that country. Because the highway code now get everything for deal with driving. The traffic signs them, how you for control your vehicle them, the traffic laws them, health and safety on the road, how for avoid danger, and even basic first aid. So now that's we want let the authority look at how then they test driver, both practical and theory. In the past, this be happen, not a new thing. Like USAI SLRS say the office they when them in call the road transport authority, then go take you from that Kisiro day, you first test whether they test you now up gone roundabout.
Yeah.
That's on table day. Then you go Blackhall Road, past near Ben's garage. Then the Kinkei go up there Tender Hill. because it's very important for hill starts. Because Sierra Leone will get a lot of hilly roads there. We don't see boku driver them, even especially them big lorry them, where they roll, where they not sabi control vehicle na the hill. And emergency stop. So now then here we expect the authority for come back say, well, with this new license, for let people get this license, then test here we get for conduct them, so we know say we get safe driver na the road. So now the first point start.
Forget safe driver na the road. This one go eliminate the one them where they print fake license. I don't think. Say no more waiting safe. But I want make you take them step by step, Sam. He say the process for make you get the driver's license, you dey go first na NCRA, you go get you NIN, your national identification number.
Yeah.
The one when me get problem with now, where he say your national identification number na him get for be your driver's license number. And if you want mimic like the NI number na the UK or the social security number na the US, and no say that one and they know the dip and paper where anybody can hold bangba ode. Because as soon as you lost your license or your license going at the wrong hand, then your information is out there. So I don't know. I never wrap me head around this. I don't know if you get any comment on this one.
Okay, let we look at this origin of the national identification number. Because then the NCRA, the National Civil Registration Authority, now the game. And then not just get Dandy, it starts through because we country we are member of ECOWAS. So it starts, I'll give the history. In 1979, where they get free movement of citizens, then I allow all ECOWAS citizens to move around without hindrance. It means that you get for identify them citizen day. Then this tier will do so now. ECOWAS been say by 2016 and past other laws say all citizens at the ECOWAS region forget biometric identity. In fact, then they now forget force because that biometric identity day, now every other identity for link to, whether you driving license, whether you NACIT number, and other and tax number, all for link to that biometric identity day. Then from January 2019, now that identity day for use. So the problem now is one side don't move forward, which is the SLRSA, where they not produces biometric identity. It's like we they work from us as a Tom. We for don't get that identity day first, when are the national identity, then link the license to them. The national identification number, now the unique number for let you apply for license. But the license of itself forget your unique number separate from that national identification number. So that is the way it should go.
Exactly, because now some feel say if you go, but with the executive director they say you NI number and I get for be your driver's license number, I'm afraid. I don't know. I hope say maybe it be just a try for explain then he mix them up. But I hope just like how you don't say so the driver's license for getting your unique number, the NI number for be unique, we go then a safe place where not to everybody go get hold of them, we na you that one day. And now can now because for the first time drivers them, it says starting from January 2022, now only through driving school you go able for get the biometric license. Your take, sir.
Exactly. Well, because again, I give credit to the SLRSA for let them bring this biometric license. Was certain responsibility where they get within the law already. Now they not do it. Because if you take the Road Traffic Act 207, it make provision for the authority for register all driving school, which means, and also it's against the law under Section 35 for somebody for give driving instruction without get a register na the road safety authority or get an identity card where for say me na a qualified driving instructor. So then and there we need to put them in place.
So example, like where you go learn your small brother, they against the law.
It is against the law.
Okay.
If you say you want to take your small brother for learn and for drive, according to the law, which is Section 35 of the Road Traffic Act, it definitely says, I think say I read that in English, then I go interpret it so people then go understand which are the source.
Okay, sir.
Because not a two are the makeup so yeah. A person shall not give instruction in the driving of a motor vehicle unless that person wears in the course of instruction an instructor's identity card issued by the licensing authority. And as Section 2, subparagraph 2 say, an instructor identity card shall not be valid unless the certificate number of the instructor is embossed on it. Then you go to the third subparagraph. A person who fails to comply with subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding 250,000 leones or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 12 months or both. So the law clearly says if you the land person for drive, we mean say that motor they say forget learners that learners permit content learners thing front end, but you they commit an offense. That's so the law say.
Okay.
The law not make provision for somebody who not to a licensed and registered instructor for teach other person for drive on the road. Also for driving school, they also get regulations them for driving schools them. Whether they under the Road Traffic Act again, 32, paragraph 32, when at the same licensing authority, 9 supposed for register all them driving school. And let just read that again. A person shall not operate a driving school unless the driving school has been registered by the licensing authority. A person, subsection 2 say, a person seeking to operate a driving school shall submit to the licensing authority an application for registration which will be prescribed from. So in other words, if you are operate driving school, you get for actually register with the authority. But don't look and say they make it compulsory for everybody for good driving school, although we don't get enough driving schools. Because the authority get for set standard for trained driving instructor. From what you have seen at Freetown, with the good driving school them, forget you driving license, learner's permit, the test you take and everything, go cost you 2 million leos.
Okay.
Then, according to SLRSA, forget your first license under this biometric system, it will cost you 405 million leos. So
405,000.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, 405,000.
Okay.
So if you look and say, for land for drive, from you test, you driving exams and everything, and you license all, you dey talk about 2.5 million leos. So when you look all that, now that make people in the cut corners. People in not go drive in school.
Okay.
So this is not the issue. Now what's in the law say? Now I don't refer to so.
So this one, because you don't tell them they talk about now, they say they go come make a mandatory. I don't know. It's gonna be hand-picked drivers in school them way. Now they supposed for go.
No, well, according to the present regulation, this authority forget a register of all driving schools.
schools, yes.
The same way they will forget a register of all approved driving instructors. But waiting and get for do, now for decide waiting whose condition you get for meet to operate a driving school. Number one, now business, you go get for register as a business. Number two, you get for get an office where they operate with a signboard. This is an example for other countries in Africa. You get for get safe parking place for the driver and the vehicle the way they use for drive. Then the instructor themselves get for go through training. In fact, they forget a higher training than an ordinary driver, which now both theory, way from there at the highway code, and practical. And then for don't get experience of driving for a minimum period of at least 3 years and clean driving. These are some of the standards them where other countries then they set in the region. Because I just do a similar work in Liberia, just where I finished in 2020, now the standards and down the way then they apply. And when you go to driving school, you get forget waiting and call a learning passport. Normally for a new learner driver, you need a minimum of 20 hours practical training. Then I'll show you how to control your vehicle, how to do emergency stop, how to get safe parking, how to negotiate roundabout. So each time you've covered the syllabus, the instructor go mark and you drive in learning passport, you sign and the instructor sign. So when you go take the test, you get for provide that proof of training from an approved driving school. So this is not the system where them for put in place where we not get now.
When Abide look, I was expecting to see Sierra Leone police among, but I not see them. Now street, Salon police self go ask you say, give me your driver's license.
Well, in fairness, I'm sure the SLRSA contact Salon police. But one of the things them from the report from 98.1 and also from the executive director in interview na AYV Wake Up Sierra Leone, it talks on two way na two get for look carefully. He say, and he give example, he say with the biometric identity, it get for be machine readable, just like how they read passport. But you know, say passport when you go na immigration, they get equipment at the airport or even at the boundary for swipe your passport for check if now you get a passport day. But now the question they ask, whose equipment they where them go to use now for check your license on the road? Both for the traffic warding them and the police officer them. Now that's one part the part down the way they not explain to we.
Because Salon police can ask for license. Unless if maybe when they ask, then go back to the road safety authority for go verify. I hope they work together, then get the machines them for check. Because if we say no more, this cardiac, now just with the ordinary AI, then they go determine who's one are real, who's one are fake. Because definitely, they want the way they do fake, then they tire. And we need forget the system in place for cross-check, where you not go delay somebody. If you have driver's license, you say you want check, for just check them and hand over the license, let the person continue in journey. I think say that's just like how you say, we need for OpenAI that side, let it be say it is done properly.
But one of the things that we're making, they call we people like you call Master Sabi people the manage program, yeah. Not now for also help the government for see how they can do things well. From waiting in the talk, they biometric license here, then get QR code. Right?
Yeah.
And now we don't get mobile phone technology. So it will be easy, let them develop a mobile app where all the enforcement officer get for do. Now for use that you QR code they put an in telephone, and that telephone they go link to the database, and we go interrogate the details of the driver in real time. The technology exists. So these are now we don't know if they don't put it in place, but then they go be one solution. The other issue I go up more and quick, where this driving license don't come. Now we law book then gets and say if they stop you, enforcement officer, whether a traffic warden or police stop you, he asks you for police your license, you not get out with you, then a traffic offense. We don't argue on Boku, but now I think say for consider says since you driving license, a link to your NIN, that is your national identity number. They also make the same way. So if you know your national identity number, you can get our enforcement officer we go put on there, and you go able access your driving license data and for proof say you get license.
I think say that one day go be necessary, and there are certain things that will be done discussed the last time, Victor, where I feel say with this rollout now we go be of this new driver's license, they go need for go back with them finds then they and go check the things them way, because if this one is implemented correctly, I want for feel say it go help and some areas they wouldn't be defined for even eliminate them or reduce the fines them.
Well, exactly. That also because that makes so if you look at the law as it exists now, the primary traffic law in Salon, the Road Traffic Act 2007. But then when they make that primary act day, the clause in the act make provision for what we call a supplementary act or statutory instrument. We now get the Road Traffic Regulation 2011. So similarly, at 10 years since we get that regulation day. So because of the new changes here we don't come, I think say the authority for review the regulation day and also the fine. But one of the things what I think say in my own view where this biometric license will benefit if they enforce the law within the book. I know they saying a new law. And then because anything where they do, they call the safety authority. So when they look at things there, then get for look at safety. Section 100, subparagraph 1 of the Road Traffic Act 2007 give them power for issue penalty points them. What do they mean by penalty point there? Like certain offense then they, where you get a traffic offense, then they fine you and then they give you points. Now you license. Then when you reach a certain number of points, the authority gets the right for withdraw your license for 1 year. And then you get for go back for go take the test before you get a license they back. I feel say with this biometric license system where they're able to monitor you, it's about time the authority look at that particular law in our book. If they feel say they're not able to implement them, then for remover, then for repealer. Because for do that, the traffic offense that they will get for give points. I will give an example. Like for instance, we get zebra crossing them. And when they design zebra crossing, like me as me experience as a traffic engineer, you get forget zigzag line at both sides, white zigzag line. Which then they put that line there, which is at least 1.6 meters. Now for clear the view of the person where they cross. But we don't see people them where they even park na zebra crossing. So offense like that, they forget the penalty point there for implementers strictly. Because they cause obstruction to other people there, especially pedestrians there. You get other kind of offense than traffic offense we need penalty point. When a serious offense there. Like for instance, we country in a country we get rain. If you without wiper during rain season, or you drive without headlamp. And one of the other things where I think they forget penalty points, now they want the way they get their strobe lights, the way they blind other drivers there. So we get lots of work for do. And I would say the authority, they move in the right direction. But the only problem is they know they look at the existing laws them and things the way they get for put in place for let we get safe driver there and safe vehicles on the road.
One thing while we look before you go. Now this one way we hear from the executive director. So the manufacturers them now they get the patent right. Now if they make mistake, then SSF not able to change them. Pass them waiting self under then contact the manufacturer for change and all those things. How secure is our information?
Well, that's another thing we'll get for look at because we believe say the way they're able to go into contract with the people the way they supply the license there. Now under the existing law in the PPP, Public-Private Partnership Act. And we believe say in the interest of transparency, that agreements there and waiting then get, I don't know if Parliament review them. But something catch me mind, and I think say what they talk so, it will come. Because just like what they discuss so, the head of the Parliamentary Transport Committee recently go around now then different the Transport Ministry and their agencies them where they under the Transport Ministry for check how they do them procurement and also and then policy and implementation because the parliamentary chairman one Honorable Ambrose Mada Levy and he complains say when he go SLRSA he asks for certain documentation there. And I don't know if this was now one of them. Where they're not able to get. So he said he don't call SLRSA and the minister for go parliament for go explain. So for probably the way they read this program, perhaps this is not the right time for them to raise this issue with the MP them. So we go able to know waiting na the agreement we then get with them people how they produce the license and how secure we data them where then the handle be. Because in some countries the way we don't go, we don't work. This now the license gets beaucoup information about people then. So in some countries, even the people the way they handle them data then they're supposed to be vetted by our own Office of National Security. This suggestion why they make now based on my own experience and observation. Now a lot of African countries them where I don't work for help them for do the licensing system and regulatory system.
What to make her ask that question there? Now because of the executive director, he sell them people are fine. Saying that only 3 companies them in the entire world. Now them no more sabi do this and one part they would work with so. Now for make NCRS self don't can see say well them people are not good people then self can take now with entire information everybody own then go hand over again. Say well we'll use that same company there if we're not able for know like how you ask just now if we're not able for know how they're able for get this company and waiting get for data to then company add in database and waiting get for then we own national security database so that we go able for be secure.
Well, I think that this is something where I'm sure the executive director will be willing for provide that information, and for let we know who then are the company the way they do them here. Because personal data, let's say even don't forget about external company. Then we want salon people then where they have if they get access to that data day. Because the biometric identity goes talk outside day. You get a lot of personal details. Right? Even then people and they then forget security clearance for handle the information and they. Because what thing can stop them if they go bribe them for give you details. Your car number or your address or everything. So this then data then they it get for be based on I'm sure so we want to get data protection law. So this is not the question that we'll get for the ask the authority and through the parliamentarians for make sure say we information is safe.
What you go on for left with we tonight, sir?
Well, which I go on for left with people in tonight. First of all, I would say kudos to the SLRSA for this move where they don't make. They don't go through digitization. But I go say now work in progress. The issue of the driving test is very important. How will they train driver then? That's number one. Then get to look into that. Number two, then try upgrade with highway code because now from that they develop all driving. Number three, education and awareness. I not say they get the SLRSA hour where are they listen to all over because but now when they don't get offices all over the country, they can engage their community radio stations them for explain them things to people them. And each community gets their radio station and then can talk to them people there in their own language where they can understand. So we need a lot of public education and awareness, and also the authority get for listen to people that concerned and allow make the road then safe na salon.
Thank you very much, Victor Mengot.
Thank you, AAA. We hope say we all go contribute for make salon road then safe through with behavior or omission of bad behavior and comply with the law.
Thank you, sir. Well, that's now Victor Morgan Mengot. We're a specialist in that area day. We come to road business across the world. And so whenever we can want for leading tea on a table, we always can look for come with them, make income through light with your expertise. So now I make we can with them. If you just join me, Salon don't get a biometric license. Now that we learn at table today. And give the president free, and give the vice president free, and go give back the first lady free today. Me say, then for be don't auction unto them, therefore don't charge and let them pay more. But oh yeah, then go give them free. Look out, us friend, let me hear waiting in get for we today. Welcome on board, us friend. You get the platform, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, AAA, and thanks to we able brother Mr. Victor Mengot for his contribution, and one hope say the ideas that we they put towards the panel we see they part of, let them try accept the ideas, then take them on board. Not just for let them tap in knowledge from other areas, then they go with them. But all what you don't put so in place, now things them way they're supposed for day. Most of them now question them because of the way the people then bring out to the media. whether the information they translate them to we well. In other words, the information translation and also the effectiveness and sustainability of what they do. Now they will all written up this wait now, but waiting them try for do they don't try for showy in practice of 1, 2, 3. Say look at more now it wouldn't do. The other aspect is how sustainable and how it will work and waiting, whose parties them will they involve for let this thing go before down to the drivers, they will get in vehicles, take to the vehicle owners, and take to even the pedestrians. But here comes to the issue. We address first of all that area where important small about how they see then go check them instruments there. In other words, the devices there, because now kind of na micro chips. Now they include inside them data we don't discuss. And the company we then they talk about will not know because a few companies. But before I go into that, the machinery wouldn't be actually seen. Talk and them launching actually. I read that one day and the launching. Most of we miss and because I don't miss a thing somewhere. I don't know if one of them building like Bintumani, but somewhere they do a thing last week or the other tail end of the previous week. But then again, briefly when I explain, see, then go give hand devices them to either then therefore do the checking. But I don't know, like people in the question back, like how brother Jeff explains, say if they go involved and even yourself then go involve the police then because they can demand them here. And then the one that way now the SLI and then people that they don't train, then go hold them. So will be a overlapping of duties. So we don't know that area how they work them. Because they try for call the attention, then they try for plead for let them come on board. So even they plead for let them come on board, I don't know if they don't consult them or then they wait for let them come. But they don't actually see that they use their method there, but we don't know how effective this one way, not the one where they read the microprocessor, kind of like a microprocessor with the process your digital information where they don't encrypt. Then they bring them card then they get all chip with them. So that chip then they will put now they add the information. That is according to what they be. But you can forget back another device now where the microprocessor for process that information where they encrypt, they don't hide them. Then they wrap and pass it for unfold. What you unfold them for let them see them. Because when see something that you see, some you know they see. The one that we know they see, when the information when they talk about the NID and other information, I think they put there. But the question now is that how effective then TIA will get for day. And then we'll get power banking system, where then we'll get power source, we go effective to the provinces, or then get other method them but I believe say they will always involve with power for able to read that. If in a solar system, but we don't know. But they say they get them. I don't know if they don't get them, but they just pronounce it that method that they use. So they will give them. So that one is questionable. Why I say no more, but then pronounce. I don't know how effective. But looking at the area where they talk about the point of the availability of them then handle there to the people and one day with the check devices and the ID itself. The ID itself, we not say there are a shortage of chips, but I don't know how effective them chip they are to host company because we know that China they actually been they try for get our business in a saloon, but I don't know how effective. Then they get another one back would have been home based. Because you know, then the other ID one they would like to pay for actually, and then other things they wouldn't use, but a private thing where even did it, they link with one company na London or UK, and the one in London and UK then they deal with China, Taiwan, and the other producer then are US. But the question why I go that area now the question that other than they do them why other than get this patent right, other than get this right with World Trade Organization. They try to say, well, would they get a pressure in terms of this taxation, corporate tax, ownership, patent rights, how they will able to waive them. But again, because of Mr. Mengo below mentioned the Public-Private Partnership Act, Sometimes you go feel say that day, then go get for link. But it is dangerous in that patent right because all around the world, now even this pandemic, now because of that patent rights, we boku companies and what they do the entire medicine, then vaccine, then they hold on to. But now the year and they will say for try do we are international relationship for look into areas and we now laws and we can able no see they pass through the back door, then they look waiting go match because not to all things we get patent right. They're not to all things we depending on the country where they buy them. So you got to look on all those things because when you they transfer information in case that production of the chip they're not able. Now EU they try for make their own. China they try for cut off from other countries and for let not sell the US. US they put about 52 billion, not 2 million, now $1 billion for let go manufacture their R&D computer there. I'm gonna call it R&D, but I will leave that extension there for another day. But the point is that the demand of waiting una they try for bringing the country, una developing country, una don't get tied with a patent law. What if then people are tomorrow, the experts them, then decide to go to EU because now that EU they do that the lobby, all man the lobby for get that they make anything there, then the shortage can't come. Then you get for seeing other information, you get for saying, well, I will get her. Or it can cost you money for you go come up and that treat today because even some company just put on like you can get in contracts in place. They say, well, now 12 months. If you have to come up before the 12 months, you get for pay this amount. Then tomorrow they can go ask for that one day. I not read around the areas and they too much, but I believe say these are patent rights. Also, tomorrow other company can go bypass. Then go say, well, I can't buy them. Then no. Either because of administration, also there's somebody that can't change an office day, he go bring the idea, he go run a deal tomorrow, he can overlap. The point is that security of the information. Let them try look into that international relationship, that patent law, they fine. And let them try project for see who are they getting chips there from. Are they reliable? Then try test the system. But I don't know if they test the system because they will run what system and producer in the right. But the other machine, I will for don't check them. For say, well, look at what don't put inside, you don't check. You know, daily because in another simple process. So I believe say they are waiting for them to come. But that's all before don't be in terms of the advert will be the expecting and do. But I believe say the idea is good where everybody supports because in the identity theft and safety and sanity. But the other area again where them been the call about the one day would and one for let them come on board. They first of all pronounce the drivers in the union. They first of all pronounce the amount of drivers them and the revenue. I believe still between 80 to 90,000. I can't remember the exact number, but if I go replay and listen back, but it's between that range of drivers that wouldn't know they're registered. So they try for projector now on the revenue. That is one thing, but I don't know how safe they don't make it. Then they call on board the Sierra Leone Standard Bureau. Here they come again in display. The Standard Bureau, they don't begin to tell them, see now, how they will able to help them because they're not only the drivers, them are the driving laws, the traffic laws, the very vehicle itself, because then they check the vehicle, the tires, the machinery, the spare parts. So then begin the project down towards the spare parts. Then within the sellable, most of the time are recycled one. Then because of the type of country we would be, because I know people, I know passionate people who they can't hire them, they can't buy spare parts now. Not to the new one, and they can't buy the one they way, then they almost put down now. Not to point the point, but the one when they say they get different when they call it, but they go sell them back second hand so that they will just last for a few periods. But most of them, remember, some of the parts then they're very delicate, like when they talk about axle, those things that they control the movement of the tire and the durability, then thing and all the brakes, so they absorb that and all those kind of things, the lights. So it finds that then most times you can get problem with then traffic there where they go on. So then they try to tell the Standard Bureau, so let them try look into that one day. Not to no more they can't bring them in there for say, well, we put laws, we say do not say come on board. But I don't know how far the standard video, because they said the complaints they not look well fortified and sustained resource who then get for and work them things there. So government get for look into all the related things, how they work, then call on the police again, then will help them. But the one wouldn't the project more now waiting the thing will get for pull for them, the money would they pull. In terms of the school education, they mentioned few, but they don't go in detail like how Mr. Mengo therefore explained how they go able to train this, then go train this, then possibly they go on a street for good driving practice, per hill, other thing, in terms of simulation. Because simulation, you get different mind concept. Everybody get different way, either because of his background knowledge, or he is afraid, or he get different method. So I don't know how that one they get for reflect back on the practice who they will do at the ground. So these are the areas they always actually they get for try clear. But when it comes to the actual things, if you follow the processes there, it's very good. It's durable, when I go get a sideway, reliable, when I not get better thing with tied to them, the people they understand how to use them, then the information that they put there, I know say that the right information or the steps they will have to follow, the biometric process they will have be done day at hand. When they see them they do. If they want to do them, we're not trying to bring them up. They will not finish and they will not turn out to the next step because in the link, as Mr. Mengo said, you said the biometric, when the normal ID card when they see them we use that West Africa, then they all go match with. So that the number of waiting would be under it go able to on the other side. Because when they talk of nanometer, when they talk about the micro process there, it entails quite a lot in the competition in big BNM because when then they try for talk about waiting the people then get for pay towards the learning, you go see say it expensive small in total training and so on. But when you can out to actually saving the lives the way it be say, they therefore cost more to people and some people are breadwinners. So they therefore know say they secure the people in back. Before if they all they release NTI, we now license, they begin to check now. If you don't undergo this vetting here, therefore we get correct drivers there. If now the method we apply, wherein we'll therefore put right people who they train them drivers there. So that they will get safety on the road. Would they save, not to them, more the wrong kangi, would they save lives back? So we will go and then they try for look into how the cost of that thing they are back will cost people everything. Finance people in the train for go do this, they cost almost 2 million. They try find thing they wouldn't go do. But in the end, they will come back, they will not talk back and what it is right, see that government revenue. But when you talk about government revenue now, you see the national, the NRA, and they come out and go collect money, and that they do this, they are together with some other registration body. Then you will find out say, well, the money will be collected, but at the end of the day, the tax will don't go. But when you can now, waiting, it will able to turn in reflection for language user because you get to go through that consolidated fund, you get to go through the government. So then go, even though they get an independent fund when they run, but governments can get away with it, they relate to them. So you get to try and look how that one they don't put in place, then when they come, whether then they pay for it and that, because all those things can get taxed so that they will be able to redirect them. So then we make cushion. So that now they save the lives them. So we don't get that organ they go now. There is a way we go they withdraw now small because that organ they go they function, they go they produce money, they go they produce other things. Then. There are many ways we then be able to do them. What people then be able to suggest these are the other ways where money go they can inside the SLRA now. Where they don't get the structures in place, the funds they don't kind of direct them. But it all comes to how they go able to put this timeline. Testing the drivers, when they don't see them, they put them by face. That one day we'll not see a fine idea about how it go able to work, how the differentiation and go able for do them, so that it go able for start. Because for January, then they start on a very short period. So all that and I believe say safety and sanity now they see them once, but then get for find how they go able for project then we for go on because the chip them what then they use now, no they not go put chip where it be say now cheap way because they look at in West Africa for let them go try for do other things and go the all with the system that they do according to ECOWAS and other things and now. So tomorrow they not carry to a point say well ECOWAS you can't this way will not identify them. All these kind of things and therefore the project side by side say anything we'll do, we'll go for go meet up this, we'll can again for can make new one so that we'll get for meet up the ECOWAS. So then they try to put all these things in place. But I hope say God will make them get the ideas of how they will able to deal with this process. Thank you very much, and thank again, Mr. Mengot, and thanks to all the sources we get information. And I only hope see them will take them here on board, especially about the chip in quality, whether they sell and give, whether they make them, being there is a shortage of chips. And then we able to get the number in case the drivers are all willing for get her, we will able for day, or the other man and get for weights, because they see how many thousands driver will get. So thank you very much, and I hope see that will be in the table, so then we're able to look through that. But the way I don't see, everybody like see now begin and don't begin, now go then they go so. But if these things are not in place, then they halt and small, then they complain to the people them, so that people in life go save. But it's a life business and they try to deal with so from anyway. For all other things and now identity theft and a life in the same because that person go to identity theft for other person name, then tomorrow then go hold am here. So until the time where you go down the street for go find money, you get for go find things first. So all those kind of things. You find us in a small thing. But when you go deep down to the society, now you see some of them things there who they cripple people and fast thing there, who then they come. Pastor tell when I go do talk to the camera, I go do know what that person they make you don't lost it for. Now they see again, pastor and go day night host and meet us down. Some of them things they are because then they get an effect. They how they put the laws in place back tomorrow, whether people are then commit, we all do this in place, so then we go for match with the life the people who then get people in life then better what they look for. Thanks a lot again for giving the platform. And thanks for the resilience we do because now you get many media.
Welcome on board, Dr. Isatuka Kejalo. You get the platform.
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone. I hope see everybody they do well. And thanks to 98.1, I believe AYV also being share some stories then for we, as well as, thanks to you for the summary of waiting really we deal with, and also to the guests, we brother, Mr. Victor Mangot, for his own insight we can to traffic regulations, them, the laws, and waiting really we for adhere to we can to within the law say. I think some things and they, when I'm sure we all probably they think that the same line where it can to, social security or let's say no more national identification number, and linking that to your driver's license. I know say that don't be a concern throughout the program. In a way, I'm sure many of we the question how you go link those numbers, because now number where they just get out there just like that. That now one. And also during that highlight or discussion where the commissioner, I believe if that's, or the executive director, we talk about taxpayers ID, something like that. Those numbers, if we were to pay taxes where they live overseas, no say their numbers, and they now numbers then will link to your social security number. So as we come with biometric data system now we country, we therefore put certain other things in place first, so that we not go confuse the two. And you rightfully say this repeatedly, which is true. Somebody then stop you now a traffic because of maybe for whatever reason, or you lost your driver's license, somebody gets hold of it, waiting if then they now the same number they use. I hope that's not the case. If not the same number you use, then you are at risk for so many problems now. Because we all know what T means, say you get a social security number. It a link and trace you to so many. But I believe say if they do the database system in a way that this number definitely not an important number, because some things and then they only ask you for your driver's license, but let it be something where they link to your social security, but like you get to go through processes them before you go actually access that person in social security number. Some of we where they access the IRS, we now the internal revenue system, then database here. Because either you want for check, putting a tax status or things like that. Then they always send you like a code where you get for verify, for make sure say now you steps then they will need for happen. And we brought up, we mentioned something about a QR, QR code, where you say like a scanner, where you forget now the police officer or the law officer forget in case they stop somebody, they will check now then database say this person, get no traffic violation, this person, you get this type of records and whatnot, right? If them punch you driver's license, if we really show things and what you don't do, whether not good, if you're not possible, they cause trouble on the road, then go don't see it all down there. So then the system forget like a level who say if for stop. Enough for exceed down there, because if you exceed that, then you now it enter to the person in privacy too much to the point that follow all the necessary things them for prevent harm from happening to them, because we don't even know in our system for know whether like if you did access somebody in record, like or maybe after a few minutes the system they automatically shut down or go on a screensaver mode, so that somebody not go come pass by, or somebody not go come and then access. Would they get denting and then a healthcare? We would work in a healthcare system. We know say, you they use your ID. Like for me, if I don't log into me desktop from the morning, for the next 8 hours, the system they recognize me password. So where they go, now my ID now they use for sign in and sign out. So I don't need for the enter my password each time I come, because I already don't do it. So you see, as there is something what the president say, that's good. We want for mimic, or we want for copy what thing they happen at the West. Now a good thing. But Lord be real. For say Salon don't do waiting UK and United States not do it. That side. And I feel say we for take that statement they back. We not reach date. We not reach date. Who they wish for get there. There's so many things when it comes to information technology. Information technology overseas. They don't do this for so long. Now they see what they do telehealth, telemedicine. This don't they go on for years. So we they try. If we don't get one system, kudos for the administration for put those things in place. But Lord no still say we don't reach there, because that's definitely we haven't. Okay. And my own concern with the driving instructions, them with them put, yes, if not the law say this person, if you don't get license, if you go through a training school, because for use your family member or friend for train you, waiting at the first step with them put in place, because not like a question for me, then get like a road, like learner's permit test, meaning before you get even the license, you forget a permit for say you can go through this training. We get that now in country. That they happen first on a straight up license class. Now they try to understand.
If I remember well, I think they trade. I don't know for right now. Right now, I don't hear anything but learners. Now, not just straight up at the area. But if I can remember well, maybe Victor go help with that side. But I think we'll be getting trade. But I about time again.
Right. Because the reason why I make you feel say, and which I believe say are the right thing for do, people don't forget a learner's permit, first, but that then they go through a written examination before they issue you that learner's permit. Then they now therefore take you through all the different traffic rules and regulations them, like when you're on the road, we all know we don't take them, now overseas. Forget a learner's permit, before you can get a license. And then when you get a learner's permit back, you get certain time of the day where you for drive with somebody where actually get a license, and even when you don't get your license, certain things and they for do, because then they put you on probation. For like, otherwise if you get certain violations, then can suspend your license, then tell you say let go apply for one where they say now for only for work hours, so that can happen. I just want law no say as we they put systems them in place, law not take shortcuts. It will be nice for like people to understand what in our traffic rules and regulations them. So as then they drive around town, then we'll make sure say wait and see a pedestrian, then go yield to the pedestrian for no say the pedestrian gets the right of the way. But we always see we working on as allow the drive. We will because we get an understanding of how you for treat a pedestrian on the road or have to follow traffic rules and regulation, we dey wait, But then you can even see the one that what they did and they tell you, see, what did you wait for? Now for go. I say, no, so then they drive. Like you got for make sure see this person, hit up. Right? And then it talk about the zebra, which I don't know. I don't see. I don't know if you can see them. You see zebra.
Yeah, then get few. I know say one day St. John, one day. I know few by Cotton Tree and few day.
What about PZ? Eastern Police.
The kind crowd they and as if you no go see if you did.
I just say now the side who say in it for days.
No, they not put. I not see. The inside the way you call so I not see.
And then Shaka Civil Street. All inside there. Cotton Tree. I'm just saying these are the places that it should be. But when you come with all that thing there, you forget say you get to put certain things them back in place. When the traffic lights them, when they don't promise say them will give it, then they will happen to that. But they come, eh? Yeah. Okay, that's good. So, but anyway, it will be nice. And the other thing about that stimulation for the driving, if you already don't get license, now that then they make like you do first, then exchange your license to the biometric one. Okay, no problem. Let's see how down they get for go. So my question now, the last one. Where they live overseas, this national identification number, how it get for apply to we, and also how this biometric driver's license get for apply to we or affect we. That I think say we need answers to. I don't know, Triple, maybe you can ask that question there.
No, for we license, as long we can drive with we license for 90 days in Sierra Leone. So I guess we'll find. And that one for the national identification number, forget them. Maybe like me, because of the crowd will be there everywhere, may not be able to do them. I'm not be able to do I'm not be able to stand the crowd way. Anytime you go, the kind crowd will be the park. So I don't know if they get a walk-in, like where we go. So next visit, you're able to walk in and able for acquire one. We don't know, but
that's not one option. But the next option or suggestion or recommendation I give, when you get salon passport, you didn't airport. Why they not go make sure see and give you a number?
Well, and in after another 2 hours for cross salon passport. For cross airport.
But if I already link,
look the test number for now, just take test and come on airport.
Not to 2 hours. What they don't do your fingerprints them for already don't register and the system say you get salon passport and let them give a number. So then they go be your number.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you mean at the immigration booth?
From there. So that way they then go find a way for eliminate crowd and avoid the other undercover stuff that they can do.
You're right though, since where they can take unless now just formality they can do. But because they can swipe
Thumb?
Yes, not even the passport. They can do what
then they take them back.
So if the information they come up, then for just attach a number to it.
Very good. That's my point. Okay, so with the hope say they incorporate them, and hopefully the money when they call for people that will afford that, because it's gonna be a problem. So I don't know get money. People don't get money like that. But we hope for the best. We hope say whatever system that they bring, we will help follow. We get national identification number for every citizen of the country, because that can help in so many things. Even the taxpayer, even the retirement stuff. If somebody unemployed, all the other stuff there, it go help. But just that, then therefore make sure they then separate this number from a driver's license number, because it should not be the same. I think that's not a big concern to many of us. with that, I want for left for now and hope say, Salo, go better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Now we come with Tony. Make we hear waiting na your take on this one. Welcome on board, Tony. You get the platform.
Yeah, Abraham, thanks for having me. Kushel Kabo from Bulem. Yeah, it's for me. I feel say it's a good thing, but they look at the accessibility or how people then go able forget them, especially for we get old license them. You understand? And then go for make sure say it not just be something we go very easy for make people then get because I tell you something where the ladded guy where the first contributor mentioned say I learned a lot from in contribution in which him they say. You understand? Where in then get for make sure say then check all the boxes. Lights in business we all the seen at them party at the wall. We are in not just easy for make you get a license. Different states get different policies. Some states and they probably you license from salon, you then just they change them or whatever. Like also we there, you get so many process system where you get for go to. You get for go, you see it's knowledge based and you pass, you get you driving permit, learner's permit or whatever. And before now so immediate happen at salon. I remember the time we go first for go get salon license. We go na this place, Kisi bypass road by up near St. Helena Yanda. We go me and my man there we go now with three. We get for go sit. You understand? Them give we their knowledge based testing at the wall, then signage, road signs them. You understand? You get for pass certain amounts and then you able for proceed. Now so in the happen. That was the guy who made it name Paulo Bango or something like that. And the old guy we the one old power we did so. And if them is still continue that process is there, we're not going to see the kind of way they see reckless driving and everything. Because most of them people then the way they drive, so they reckless drivers, then they Okada now or whatever means of in way they drive, they all get license. Some of them get valid license. I know people that we know when they go now old transport, they get license. That they got them couch and can't get in the office. You understand? They just go through some driving school, as I know call name. The driving school apply for them because once you go through driving school and you take certain lessons with them, then they apply for you and everything. You know, for just sign no more. Then bring the person license can get in the office. Then send it there at this salon. You understand? So then go for make sure say then try for because I really say where you that man they say then if you're a new person we want driving the license you get to go through driving school. Some of the driving school themselves no they go through the proper procedures because once they give the people they want two classes they just get license. I know this person I tell you they not sabi drive it. Tell you they not even sabi drive it. Just go do 1, 2, 3 classes them no more with this driving school and the driving school do all the paperwork and then get a license. So they go for make sure say it's not only just go through the driving school but you get for go where you get then replicate best practices the way they happen at the world. Because at the end of the day, what thing they want for arrive at now the safety on the road, they want for make sure say people they're safe on the road, being pedestrians, be vehicular or whatever way they use them, then their life they're safe. So then go for look at those little things them, those little things then we able for make for able for save life. Let them make them very because license is not something, especially when I biometric now and it reached with so many informations the way then go for make sure say you get for really deserve, you get for really well, I mean meet the criteria for make you get a driving license. Because otherwise it will be a vain process. It will be something we not going before yield the intended purpose way they want for make it actually achieved. So then therefore make sure say not to just go get the license, but waiting and waiting for do. I remember just now one other go pay somebody me they shows one tank away fuel me the waste way for do. And they tell her the group say I say most of them guys they do drive them tanker they're not sabi drive them they're not sabi operate them machine they operate wrong gear like a hill or waiting and call and this man will just contribute the first contributor. I say the same thing. Some of these guys then we not actually get institutions them we or driving schools then like we then get CDL, you understand, or probably This now other area where the military can open a wing safe inside it because we know say the military gets big drive the trucks them get them big trucks they wedding driver. Open driving school. You understand? I'll get some side where people in the country they able for or be instructor for the train people or go transport the oversee. Something where they go before create some institution where the land drivers them. Not to for just can apply for drive government bus or drive them big truck then they but to get people that way say then go through certain processes, they go through certain ways for get certificates and they know how for drive and operate their machine and they when and how for apply some of them gears and they because people then they we all am victim, we go take license make the as I be right under well. You understand? But when you go take license and they say we go through driving school, then they ask you which you are then check for you. The boxes that you want to check. Say check this, check this, check this. So then they check all three for you. So even some of we not able to drive them big truck, but they don't check them for you, don't they? You understand? So let them make sure say it not just like how it business as usual, but let them make sure say if they check any sector, any side where you say, okay, me as now under the ride. If the person not sabi drive motor cannot check them. Make them make sure say they be specific. If the person not sabi drive heavy duty motor car, let them not check them. Because we don't see where people because of the kind the kind expend we say add up or how the economy is somehow we go take that license one go for pay again where they can't take the other one we go for go take Okada license so they just they check everything for them so it don't cut cost. So another for coming again for driving or any heavy or them put or them big boss them. You understand? So then therefore make sure say it's not only business as usual, but every section with them tick any part of that license they with them tick or category of the antenna the right one and any category with them tick. Now that box the person for know what to do because look at the rate at which with accidents in the country. Do you understand? Because I mean nobody know the check, the driver they drive, the tires them so smooth, we hold them, we know say we hold them, okay, then we make them so smooth because when you ask question and say, oh no, because the tire they use now as second hand tire, if we make the road too off, then tire they do not go last because I mean they not get better teeth, so they go so they hold them so smooth. And the tire them back with this under the motor and the back then so smooth. So when you must brake, you understand it? The motor they go it na somersault to the somersault straight or you go inside right inside bush. If na steep, now down they go. Because what in it, they know they check all them. So they have to look at all anything it is then they make sure say the vehicle and self when they apply the road, they're okay, the driver meets the criteria for making able for drive and all make sure say people the information just like I say, you get for because you get this theft, identity theft where they go on. They not mean for make sure say, that we say alone only for advance to that level they for level get identity. So somebody can they somewhere elsewhere able it gets you information, they able log into to any server, any computer. They access all information, they doing wiring or transfer money or whatever way they or using your data. You understand what I mean? And so basically, they therefore make sure say whatever company within they work with, people the identification as they probably might have checked that as well, but they therefore make sure say it is much more secure because people get our information, therefore being secure. That's paramount. Otherwise, we will get a lot of data breach, a lot of issues. Then we go they happen. Now me don't take down the just know about again, Abraham. The Facebook they say interrupted or whatever when you try for clicking to the page. I mean, I don't know. Probably your end check level C or you restart or this or that the thing, but they show like say where something they interrupt the flow, of whatever. So they show them your end.
On the Facebook.
Yes, the Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.